This is the internet, where everybody's opinions are online and public. Every video that I post of mine online, I'm expecting some people to agree with and some people to disagree with. That is how the internet works. If I post something that is factually incorrect and complete gibberish, it is fully in somebody else's right, if they have proof, to call me out and say so. This is the same case for other content creators. It is fully in my right as a World of Tank Splits content creator, doesn't matter how big my channel is, to call out somebody else if they are showing you factually incorrect information. I've done this in the past with Happy, and we've had arguments and discussions, and then we've agreed upon things. And I've had this with Pantoof, and he's probably disagreed with things I've said and said things back. That is how the internet works. If people are snowflakes, then they'll cry about it. They'll go into the comments, they'll go, "Ugh," and then they'll get mad. But just like big YouTubers Moist Critical and Asmongold and Pyro, who make videos talking about how other people are wrong, that is what I will be doing here today. 8 days ago, I made a video criticizing Sweatchman's content on YouTube when it comes to World of Tanks Blitz. Now, the first thing I want to make sure that people understand is that I make videos like this when I see false information being spread to other players. It's like when I made my video talking about how Meadsy claimed the 183 was a fantastic tank for beginners after the vehicle had just been nerfed, how he said the STB and M48 Patton were worse tanks to get than the CS63. When people say things like that, it's completely false, and it can make people absolutely hate playing the game, which is not an environment that I want. So when I see false information being spread, especially when you post your online reviews to the internet, it is completely fair game for me to post my criticism on the internet. So that is why I made a video on Sweatchman. And once again, I'll be replying to Sweatchman's latest content that he talked about me in. So 8 days ago, as I said, I made a video claiming that this is one of the biggest World of Tank Splits channels that is lying to the audience, not only with completely clickbait thumbnails, which you can easily see just looking at the thumbnails. I mean, look at this one. It says "don't buy," shows a picture of the T22 with an X over it, and then in the video it says you should buy the T22 because it's a great tank. We can see here a Jagdpanzer with a skin that you can't get in the game. There's just a lot. Only 0.2% of players have these, and like the 047's been sold multiple times at this point. It's been sold in the auction. The Lupus has been sold quite a bit as well. Every couple months, Wargaming does a Valkyria Chronicles bundle, so neither of these tanks are honestly rare. The Caro 45-ton was much rarer. Oh well. Either way, the point being, the thumbnails themselves were super clickbait, but that wasn't the major reason why I made the video. The reason I made the video is because the content was completely showing false information. People that tried saying, "oh, I shouldn't be calling somebody out," even though they're literally saying incorrect things, are just wrong. And, well, let's listen to what the reply was.
I would like to share something with you. Recently, popular tank vlogger Droodles made a video in which he claimed that I provide you with false information. I hope you all understand that he was just trying to get more views by stirring up this situation. What he said in his video is complete nonsense. Just think about it. He claims that the Predator is an excellent tank and that the KPZ-70 is worth buying. However, I want to assure you that I take responsibility for your gold, and I wouldn't want you to go and spend your last gold on the Predator or KPZ-70 just because at any moment a fantastic tank might be available at the auction.
First of all, Sweatchman is putting words in my mouth that I never said. I never once called the Predator an excellent tank. I said it has a very solid gun, and it's an okay vehicle. It's actually pretty good if you know how to play it right, which I believe fully to be the case. I played it earlier today, had a 3,500 damage battle and a 2,000 damage game, both which were top on the team, which you'll be seeing a video on sometime later this week. But let's hear what I actually said in my video. I'm so confused. The Predator, I wouldn't say it's like the most strong tier 7, because it's not. But, what? The gun isn't good. Like, that's what he said. He said the gun is not very good. So that's basically what I said, and then I broke into how the gun's actually pretty solid on the vehicle, which it is. It has 2,400 DPM, it's got decent penetration, and a 1.5 second interclip for a very dangerous 180 damage per shot. It's basically like an Annihilator, but it takes a little longer to get the shells out, and it's obviously much worse in the armor department, but still, it's not a bad tank by any means. It's nothing crazy. But as I said, it's not a bad tank. I didn't say it was excellent. I didn't say you should spend your gold on it. In fact, I specifically said in my auction review that you shouldn't spend your gold on the Predator. But I also didn't say that you shouldn't take it if it was free, like Sweatchman. So, yeah, again, why are we putting words in my mouth that I literally never once said? See, the thing is, people like Sweatman and haters in the comments will say I'm only making videos like this, again, to garner attention, to get views, to spread drama. I do not care about drama. I make videos that I believe to be the truth. This is why I never ever care about what people say about me, because at the end of the day, I'm doing what I believe is right. If I see somebody spreading completely false information, I'm going to call them out. Like, did you notice how Sweatman completely ignored 99% of what this video was talking about? How the fact that a very large portion of the video is talking about how he called the T28 HTC and the AT-15A some of the worst tanks for average and newer players, yet I broke into the stats and showed out how that is completely false information, and how the T25 or T28 Concept and AT-15A are two of the top performing vehicles in update 10.3, which is just one patch before the current update we're sitting on. I broke into all those stats, didn't hear a mention of that in the video. Gee, I wonder why, guys. Gee, I wonder why. Then I broke into how the VK168, while not great, is definitely not one of the worst tier 8s in the game to grind. I should also mention that the VK168 can be used in gravity and gravitizing modes, which makes it one of the best purchases in the game, which was completely left out. There's just completely eluding content that I talked about in the video. A lot of the stuff that I brought up was completely ignored, which just clarifies that what I think for the 99% of this video is completely true, because he didn't even bother bringing it up. The only part that he did bring up was the Kampfpanzer 70, and the fact that it's better to buy a Chimera than the Kampfpanzer.
Instead of owning a KP-70, you could have purchased the Chimera and enjoyed a successful acquisition. I hope...
So he says, instead of owning a Kampfpanzer, you could have purchased a Chimera. Okay, but you didn't say that in your original video, so that argument, again, doesn't hold up at all. This is what you said in your original video.
The KP-70 is actually a pretty decent Tier 9 heavy tank. However, here lies its main problem. It's a Tier 9 tank, and it will consistently find itself in battles against Tier 10 tanks.
That's his major argument. It's not that the Chimera is better. He didn't bring up the Chimera once. The reason he calls the Kampfpanzer 70 a bad vehicle, or not even bad, but not a good tank to buy, is because it can fight tier 10s. Like, that's just not an argument. Are you going to say that for the Object 752 as well, the tier 9 Soviet heavy? This is one of the most overpowered and top performing vehicles on overall win rate in the game currently. You're gonna say that this tank isn't very good because it can fight tier 10s? Like, that's just not a proper argument. If you had said, I personally don't think you should buy the Kampfpanzer and instead get the Chimera because it's the same gold, then it would have been a proper argument. But again, you're evading my points and just making up random BS than actually listening to what I have to say. So once again, I stand by everything I said in my original video calling out Sweatchman. The response from Sweatchman was literally like hearing a politician just ignore all the questions at a press conference and just give some mumbo jumbo and keep on going. And I mean, that's literally all it was, because there were so many other things I broke into my video as well about his content being just wrong. Like the fact that he said the T22 medium is a great pickup, even though his thumbnail said it's not. And then he also forgot to mention that the T22 medium got nerfed in update 10.3, but talked about the buff that it got to its armor. Like, really? You're going to talk about the buff it got, but you're not going to mention how it lost 250 DPM. That's a pretty substantial nerf. He also said the Object 260 is a great pickup for beginners. I wouldn't recommend anybody picks up the Object 260 unless they really want that type of playstyle, because it is not a very good vehicle. You can pull up a Super Conquer and it will do better in 99% of situations. Heck, a T95E6 is just a flat better 260. Even still, I probably trust the armor more on an E6. So yeah, I just really don't know what to say. The content that Sweatchman posts is clickbait. All the thumbnails are completely clickbait. They show tanks that don't exist in the game, like the Object 279E, to garner attention from gullible people. He says his viewers are intelligent, yet they are clicking on thumbnails that are completely clickbait and have nothing to do with the content themselves. And then he posts content which has factually incorrect information, like saying the T28 HTC, VK168, and AT15A are among the worst tier 8s and 7s in the game, when that's not even close to the truth. At the end of the day, this is the internet. And if those of you want to come into my comment section and cry and complain that I'm calling someone else out, then maybe you just shouldn't be on the internet. Because literally, the whole point of the internet is to share your opinions and critique others. Go to any big online content creator, Moist Critical, go to Asmongold, go to Pokimane, go to any content creator, and they're going to be criticizing other content. That is literally what the internet is. So, as one of the biggest World of Tank Splits content creators, when I see complete gibberish and honestly garbage in certain points, I will call it out. I didn't once call out his character, I didn't once criticize him as a person, I simply called out the content and the literal factually incorrect information. If you still want to watch completely clickbait content that is simply there to gather views, then go ahead. But if you make a wrong decision, or you listen to him and you decide, oh, maybe I shouldn't have bought the 260, that's on you. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.